MMA Meltdown on the Fight Network continues. I sent it to Costa Rica, the premier combat sport oddsmaker in the business. Joey Odessa joins us. Check out his new website, odessa.com. Joey, let's jump right in. I want to get to as many fights as possible. We've got the rematch here, Dillashaw versus Barao for the Bantamweight Championship. And I said earlier in the program, people are acting as if though Barao is some stiff from Brazil that's getting sent over to get his ass kicked on free television. They're forgetting this guy's won 31 fights in a row. He had some weight cut issues. I think complacency set in. He was dominating. Didn't think much of Dillashaw. Sort of like Anderson Silva and Chael Sonnen in the first fight. Anderson's like, who's this Chael guy? Whatever, another guy. And he got pushed to the brink, to the limit here. Hey, listen, Dillashaw dominated him in the first fight, Joey. But I look at this, and it's a lot different, man, when the target is on your back. And now Barao is the hungry guy with a chip on his shoulder. I look at this fight, plus 200, I'm taking Barao.
You know, Barao did hurt him in round one, if I recall. But you know what? Dillashaw came in. He came in on short notice. These guys jacked up the price I did on in back comparison with St. Pierre and Sarah in the first fight. I mean, I opened around minus 450, but there was minus at that. I tell you, there was books in Costa Rica that had him minus 1,200. There was books in Curacao that had him minus 1,000, and it got ridiculously out of hand. And everybody started looking at it as a pushover. And you know, some sharp guys came in, took the dog. Very few sharp guys, but they took the dog. I'll pat myself here. I grabbed him. I mean, he had nothing to lose. He went out there. He got hurt a little bit in round one, talking about Dillashaw, but then he opened it up. And you know, Barao, these things happen. I mean, you know, they take guys light sometimes, and that's exactly what happened. I'm with you. I think Barao is going to win this rematch.
And it looks as if though we're kind of in a minority on this, Joey, because the number keeps climbing with the champ.
No, I'm saying I like Barao. Oh, yeah, exactly. Dillashaw is like minus 2-1 favorite, and you know what? People only remember what they last saw. They don't look into, you know. I mean, Barao is what 33-2, something like that. You know, Dillashaw is 11-2. Look, Dillashaw had a great night. He might win again.
Hey, this is one of these fights, though. This is Wednesday night right now. This is one of these fights, though. We got to see the weigh-in. I mean, we're talking about a guy that's really struggled to make weight. We're talking about a guy that collapsed in a freaking bathtub and knocked himself out in a bathtub before due to weight cut issues. I like Barao, but you know, let's proceed with caution until Friday at the weigh-ins, right?
Well, you know, they both got, you know, I don't want to call them softballs, but Dillashaw got thrown at Joe Soto, and he was like an 11-1 favorite.
Dude, Soto took him to the fifth round in that fight.
Exactly, and then he went out, and I believe he got beat in the first round in his next fight. I'm not positive, but he got beat right after by Perchek. I forget who he lost.
Yeah, Barao beat Mitch Gagnon, gets back in the winner's circle. Listen, if we're wrong, we're wrong. But I'll take a shot with Barao here at a plus 200 opportunity. If he loses, then hey, he's out of the picture, and you know he'll never be a plus 200 underdog again. He'll be favorites against lesser tier fighters in the bottom part of the card. But we're talking about a fighter with a chip on his shoulder here.
We also have one other thing going. I mean, this alpha male team. I mean, Mendez just went out there, got beat. You got Faber tied up. You know, I guess with the Ultimate Fighter. You know, things like this. You know, these are You just don't know what's going to happen. I mean, I don't think Mendez looked as good as I expected him to look in his last fight. And you know, Dillashaw, he's had more time off than Barao since his last fight. I think Dillashaw's was in August, and Barao fought, you know, 4 months after that, so he's fought more recently. Kind of, you know, I got to lean with the Brazilian here if the travel and everything works out for him.
Unfortunately, Joe, we don't have a ton of time here. We went a little long with Ken Shamrock. Misha Tate and Jessica, I think the wrestling's the difference here. Tate's minus 200. The total's 2.5. I like this fight to go the distance, but you got to lay minus 275. Maybe you can put the over in some parlays. I know you're not much of a total player, but I think that fight does go the distance. And Tate is so tough. We know that she can eat some punches. You know, we've seen her take vicious beatings and keep on grinding. I think Tate wins this fight at minus 200.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. She beat Sarah McMahon, who's an Olympian. That says a lot for her. She's won, 3 in a row since she had that little fall off. She lost to Rondon Cat. She beat Liz. And you got Jessica coming in here. I like Tate here. But, here's something that's significant on this card. You got Brian Caraway fighting on the undercard, and I heard they're supposed to corner each other. Now, people say maybe it's insignificant, but, it takes a lot. You've been there just rooting in the stands, cheering for somebody to win. You're having a couple of drinks. 15-round fight, tough fight, in and out, sweating these fights gets exhausting. Imagine cornering them.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
you're right.
Early, and it might take a little out of her, but I still think that Tate's the right side.
Yeah, that's interesting, and it's also contagious. We talk about that. I think Caraway, somewhat of a live dog in the sense that everyone hates him so much that you might get value with the number with him. We got to almost get out of here, Joey, but I can't believe I'm going to say this. We got Lozon, Gomi, numbers high here. It's going to be a fun fight to watch. I don't know, dog or pass there for me, but I can't believe it. I'm back on the Valente bandwagon. This bastard cost us big years ago, you and I, Joey, and we both jumped off the bandwagon. Nothing more frustrating than a wrestler that doesn't wrestle, but all these fights of him getting punched in the face, he's become pretty heavy-handed, and he's taken on a Tom Lawler that's going to be way, way undersized here, moving up in weight. Guys hadn't fought him since 2013. Lawler's an entertaining fighter, but he's extremely hittable. I think Valente's going to drop him, man.
I tell you what's interesting about this fight is Valente. The last guy Valente beat was Corey Anderson, I think. The guy who won the Ultimate Fighter, and he's from Illinois. His card's in Illinois, and I don't think Corey's on this card. But anyway, Lawler's up in weight. He's coming off a 2-year layoff. He did win his last fight, though. There's actually some people out there that think he can win this fight. It's got to be based on Jan's last performances. I can't hit it right with Jan no matter what. He's out of Hofstra. He was a New York State wrestling champ. So I always have my little wrestler bias, but damned if he hasn't cost me a lot of money.
Yeah, I know, but we're going to get it back. We're going to start to get it back a little bit. Because, I've cursed this guy more than any fighter in the history of the world. Sorry, Jan, but it's true. You've really upset me in past years, but I'm buying back in. Hopefully it's not famous last words. Check out Joey's website, Odessa.com. Thanks, Joey.
Thanks. Have a good one, Jake.
All right, man. This show just flew by. We'll come back and wrap things up. We don't have a video. We've got a gruesome picture for you. Our picture of the week coming up next. All right, we got to be quick on the way out here. Thanks to Ken Shamrock. Thanks to Joey Odessa for joining us. We had Stitch Duran on the radio show. Check out the podcast, FightNetwork.com. And yes, I think Stitch got screwed. All right, let's wrap it up. Not a video of the week, but Michael Bisping, and he cashed a ticket for us. This is what Bisping's foot looked like after he beat Thales Ladies the other day in Scotland. Pretty freaking gruesome, man. Other than that, you're on your own. Later. Oh.